Lately, China has been Africa's biggest and strongest ally, and they've been making some serious financial investments in the continent. They're offering all kinds of help, like canceling debts, giving grants, and providing loans with really favorable interest rates. They even offer interest-free loans. Now, here's the cool part. China's way of helping is different from what the Western countries do. You see, the Western countries often have a bunch of conditions and restrictions when they give aid, but China's assistance is far more flexible and open-minded. They don't impose as many rules on the countries they help. In fact, the only thing they ask for is that the countries recognize the concept of one China. The strong and growing friendship between China and Africa is seriously scaring the West. China announced this super impressive $60 billion fund specifically for Africa's development. It happened during the China-Africa Forum for Cooperation Summit in 2018. This fund is divided into different parts, and it's meant to support projects related to the Chinese government's Belt and Road Initiative. They're focusing on things like telecommunications, building roads, bridges, seaports, energy, and developing human capacity. It's all about making Africa stronger and more connected. Now let's talk numbers. According to the China-Africa Research Initiative, Chinese lenders gave loans totaling a whopping $153 billion to African countries between 2000 and 2019. And guess what? More than 80% of those loans were used for really important infrastructure projects. We're talking about things like improving transportation, power systems, telecommunications, and water resources. These projects are making a huge difference in the lives of people in Africa. So, get ready to explore some amazing million-dollar projects that are happening right now because of China's support. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel and turn on those notifications so you won't miss any of our awesome videos. Let's dive in. Number 10. The Maputo-Kitem Bridge. The Maputo-Kitem Bridge is a game-changer that's going to boost economic activity between South Africa's KwaZulu-Natal province and Mozambique in a big way. So, what's so special about this bridge? Well, it connects the capital city of Mozambique, Maputo, with a place called Kitembe. Before this bridge, traveling from a town called Kosi Bay in KwaZulu-Natal to Maputo took a whopping 6 hours. But now, thanks to this incredible invention, that travel time has been reduced to just 90 minutes. Can you imagine how much easier and faster it is to get from one place to another now? This bridge is part of a program called the East 3 Route, which involves KwaZulu-Natal, Mpumalanga, Mozambique, Eswatini, and the Seychelles. They're working together to boost tourism in the region, and this bridge is a major step towards making that happen. It's going to make it so much easier for people to travel between Maputo and Kosi Bay, which is a border post on KwaZulu-Natal's beautiful east coast. Before the bridge was built, traveling between these two places was really tough. You could only do it if you had a special four-wheel drive vehicle. But now, anyone can travel between the two places easily and safely. No more long detours through Eswatini. This is going to open up new opportunities for trade and tourism, which is super exciting. The construction of the Maputo-Kitem Bridge was a massive project. It involved upgrading the N4 toll road from Johannesburg to Maputo, as well as improving railway lines and border posts. The China Road and Bridge Corporation, a company from China, built the bridge over a period of 4 years. China provided the money for the construction as a loan to the Mozambican government. Let me tell you, this bridge is no ordinary bridge. It's a record breaker. It's a whopping 3 kilometers long, making it the longest suspension bridge in all of Africa. And get this, it's suspended a mind-boggling 680 meters above Maputo Bay. It's even taller than the famous Matadi Bridge in the Democratic Republic of the Congo. Number 9. The Port of Bagamoyo in Tanzania. The Bagamoyo Port is a very exciting project that is happening in Tanzania. So, let's rewind a bit. About a year ago, President Samia Suluhu Hassan made a promise that Tanzania will revive this ambitious project. See, the project got put on hold by the former president because there were some issues with the contract between Tanzania and the Chinese company called China Merchant Holdings. But now China is eager to discuss restarting the project with Tanzanian authorities. They really want to strengthen their friendship and partnership with Tanzania, and they're even working on other big projects there, like a railway project and a hydropower project. The Bagamoyo port is a massive deal. If it gets implemented, it's going to be the largest port in East Africa. Can you imagine that? It'll have the capacity to handle a whopping 20 million cargo containers called TEUs by the year 2045. That's like 25 times more than what the port in Dar es Salaam can handle right now. The Bagamoyo port is going to be located about 40 nautical miles north of Dar es Salaam, and it's going to be way bigger than Kenya's port at Mombasa. It's going to be the trade gateway for East Africa. The project was actually signed back in 2013 when Chinese President Xi Jinping visited Tanzania. And guess what? It even had financial support from Oman's State General Reserve Fund. The plan included a special economic zone, which was meant to attract around 700 companies. It's going to be a hub of economic activity and opportunities. Number 8. Ghana's new stadium. Ghana's collaboration with China are building a brand new stadium for the sporting activities that will be taking place in Ghana, and it's going to be epic. This stadium is going to be huge, with a whopping capacity of 50,000 people. They're constructing it in a place called Wortiman in the Greater Accra region. And get this, the project is worth a staggering $200 million. That's a whole lot of money, but it's totally worth it. You know what's really cool? The president of Ghana, Nana Akufo-Addo, is super excited about this stadium. He says that none of the sports stadiums in Ghana right now are up to the required standard to host any African games. So they're taking matters into their own hands with the help of China and building top-notch facilities. The president wants to make sure that Ghana can host all the different sports in the African tournaments. That's why they're not just building the stadium, but also multi-purpose sports halls for indoor games, aquatic centers for swimming, and even tennis courts. They want to have everything ready for an amazing sporting event. But wait, there's more. After the African Games are over, they're not going to let the stadium go to waste. Oh no, President Akufo-Addo has big plans for it. He wants to transform the stadium and the surrounding area into a sports university. How awesome is that? It means that even after the games, the stadium will continue to be used to train and educate future athletes. Number 7. The Addis Ababa to Djibouti Railway. Ethiopia and Djibouti teamed up for an amazing project. They built a railway that will link these two cities. So, picture this. A 750-kilometer railway line connecting Djibouti, which is by the Red Sea, with the capital city of Ethiopia, Addis Ababa. This railway line was just opened in October of this year, and it's going to do some incredible things for both countries. The project was built by China, and it's all about making things better for Ethiopia. See, Ethiopia is a landlocked country, which means it doesn't have direct access to the sea. But with this new railway, they can open up new opportunities for businesses and improve transportation. It's all about making things more convenient and efficient. After more than a year of negotiations, the transport ministers of Djibouti and Ethiopia signed a deal to create a joint business to run the railway. This means that they'll work together to provide transportation services for passengers and freight along the route. The headquarters of the company will be in Addis Ababa, the capital of Ethiopia. One of the best things about this railway is that it's going to make travel between the two countries so much faster. The journey time will be slashed to under 10 hours. That's incredible. Ethiopia is really ambitious and wants to have a total of 5,000 kilometers of railway lines across the country by 2020. They're taking big steps towards their goals. The railway is also environmentally friendly. It's electrified, which means it doesn't rely on diesel fuel like the old Addis Ababa Djibouti line. This is a great step towards sustainability and reducing pollution. Now, let's talk money. The project cost around $4 billion, and most of the funding, about 70%, came from the Chinese EXIM Bank. The remaining 30% was financed by the Ethiopian government. The construction was done by two Chinese companies called China Railway Engineering Corporation and China Civil Engineering Construction. Number 6. The Lagos Rail Line. Hey there, let me tell you about something super exciting happening in Lagos, Nigeria, the Lagos Rail Line. It's all about making transportation better and reducing those pesky traffic jams. So, here's the deal. The governor of Lagos State, Akinwumi Mbode, announced that they're working hard to complete the first phase of a light railway in just 13 months. That's less than a year and a half. They're determined to make it happen and make a positive impact on the city. The project started back in 2010 with the help of a Chinese company called China Civil Engineering Construction Corporation. They had big plans to launch the railway line in 2011, but you know how it goes. Sometimes things don't go as smoothly as planned. There were some delays due to corruption and poor management, which are big challenges in Nigeria. But now they're pushing forward and making progress. The railway line is a crucial part of their efforts to reduce traffic in Lagos, which is the economic capital of Nigeria. Just imagine there are 21 million people living there, and some of them have to wake up as early as 4:30 in the morning just to get to work by 9:30. That's crazy, right? So, they're building this railway to make commuting easier and more convenient for everyone. Nigeria has the largest economy in Africa, and Lagos alone has a bigger GDP than countries like Ghana or Kenya. That's how important this city is. So, they're investing a whopping $2.5 billion in this railway project because they know it's going to make a huge difference. The goal is to create a modern and efficient transportation system that will benefit all the hardworking citizens of Lagos. They want to make sure that people can get to their workplaces faster, spend less time stuck in traffic, and have more time for the things they love. Number 5. The Kribi Deep Seaport in Cameroon. This project is a shining example of cooperation between China and Cameroon, and it's changing the game for this beautiful city. Just imagine, not too long ago, Kribi was just a tiny fishing community with a few humble homes. But fast forward 10 years and boom, we now have a magnificent deepwater port that's making waves in the region. Here's the scene. Picture a bustling port with containers lined up along the wharf, protected by a massive 1,000-meter-long breakwater. Ships of all sizes, like a 10,000-ton bulk carrier, docked by trusty tugboats, loading and unloading cargo. It's a sight to behold. But let's rewind for a moment. 10 years ago, nobody could have guessed that this humble fishing community would transform into a thriving port city. You see, the government of Cameroon realized that their principal port, Douala, just couldn't handle the growing demands. They needed something bigger, better, and more modern, a deepwater port with greater capacity. That's where Kribi, specifically the region of Lola Bay, came into the picture. The location had all the right natural conditions for a top-notch port, but there was a catch. The fishing community of Lola Bay had to be relocated. And boy, did it spark some debate. The local elders, who had lived there for generations, were against the move. They held tight to their roots and didn't want to leave. But the younger generation, they saw the opportunities on the horizon. They were excited about the prospect of new homes and a generous payment for their properties. And let me tell you, this deepwater port project is not just about moving people around. It's about transforming lives and opening doors to a better future. From the construction phase to the daily operation of the port, this project brings countless opportunities for the people of Lola Bay. It's a chance for them to have a more comfortable and fulfilling life. Number 4. The new Nile Bridge project in Egypt. Egypt is launching a new project called the New Nile Bridge. It's all about making transportation safer and easier for everyone in the country. They are doing this in collaboration with China. Here's what happened. There was an accident where a truck carrying farm workers fell into the Nile River, but the Prime Minister, Mustafa Madbouli, isn't wasting any time. He's taking action. During a meeting with the Minister of Transport and the Chairman of the General Authority for Roads and Bridges, the Prime Minister gave the green light to start working on the bridge project immediately. They're planning to build it in Al-Qaeda village, where the accident took place. This project is a big deal because it's part of a larger plan to improve transportation across the country. The government wants to create a high-speed electric train network and develop an integrated system that will make cities grow and thrive. They're serious about making this happen. They've even set up a committee of expert engineers to examine the proposed site and get the project started quickly. Their goal is to improve access for everyone and prevent accidents like the one that occurred. Number 3. The Mombasa-Nairobi Standard Gauge Railway Project in Kenya. This project's primary goal was to connect the capital city, Nairobi, with the vibrant coastal city of Mombasa. Let's dive in and learn more about this awesome railway. Now picture this. There used to be an old railway called the Uganda Railway, built back in 1901 during British colonial times. But guess what? Kenya decided to upgrade and build a brand new railway, the Mombasa-Nairobi Standard Gauge Railway, which is bigger and better. This project was no small feat. It cost a whopping $3.6 billion. The main contractor, China Road and Bridge Corporation, brought in 25,000 Kenyan workers to help build this incredible railway. The Standard Gauge Railway doesn't just stop at connecting Nairobi and Mombasa. It's part of a bigger plan to connect other railways in the East African community. That means more exciting adventures and easier travel throughout the region. In 2017, on a special day called Madaraka Day, which also marked Kenya's independence anniversary, the Madaraka Express made its first journey with its first passengers. It was a historic moment for the country. And that's not all. The railway also started carrying commercial freight in 2018, making it even more useful for transporting goods across the country. Number 2. The Coastal Highway Project in Kenya. This is one of the projects that is going to make a big difference in Kenya. Imagine cruising along a beautiful 40-kilometer road with 2 lanes on each side. That's exactly what the Mtwapa-Kilifi Highway is all about. It's part of a much larger project, worth a staggering $7.5 billion, and it's funded by the African Development Bank and constructed by China. This highway will connect the Tanzanian town of Bagamoyo to the Kenyan town of Malindi. That's one epic road trip. But why is this project so important? Well, let me tell you. Traffic congestion used to be a headache for tourists traveling along this road, but not anymore. With the widening of this highway, traffic will flow smoothly, making it easier for visitors to explore Kenya's stunning coastal region. And that's not all. It's not just about tourism. The local communities will also benefit from this project. The town of Mtwapa, in particular, is getting a much-needed makeover. The goal is to transform it into a bustling business hub, operating 24/7. How cool is that? This coastal highway is also a game-changer for trade and economies between Kenya and Tanzania. It will strengthen the bond between the two countries and boost integration, job opportunities, businesses, and even help fight poverty. It's a win-win situation for everyone. The construction of the Mtwapa-Kilifi section is expected to be completed in 36 months, according to government plans. Number 1. The Bui Dam Hydroelectric Power Station project in Ghana. This is a massive gravity roller-compacted concrete dam located in Bui National Park. Trust me, you're gonna be amazed by what this dam can do. First things first, let's talk about its superpowers. The Bui Dam is like a superhero. It provides irrigation for around 30,000 hectares of land, which means farmers can grow more crops and feed more people. But that's not all. It also generates a whopping 400 megawatts of power. That's enough electricity to light up thousands of homes and businesses. Impressive, right? Now, here's the interesting part. The Bui Dam project had 2 phases. In the first phase, there was a lot of research and planning involved. They wanted to make sure everything was just right. Then, in the second phase, they got down to business and built the main dam, a spillway, a powerhouse, and transmission lines. It was like watching a masterpiece come to life. But the Bui Dam isn't just about power and irrigation. It's also a champion for the environment. It protects the region from flooding, which keeps people and their homes safe. And guess what? During its construction, it created a ton of jobs for the local community. Talk about making a positive impact. Now, I must be honest. The Bui Dam did face some opposition from environmentalists. They were concerned about the relocation of fish and other creatures. But overall, the dam has brought tremendous benefits to the region. The fishing and tourism sectors have thrived, and it has become an important asset for Ghana. So, there you have it, the amazing story of the Bui Dam. It's a powerhouse of electricity, a lifeline for farmers, and a protector against floods. It's a symbol of progress and development in Ghana, making a difference in the lives of many. How incredible is that? Did you love this video? Why not hit the like button and let us know what you think in the comment section.